So we'll talk about the light, how possible we can make the light glowing, right, in the evening. So this is the default light in InfraWorks, and let's do export 3D model. You want to actually do check off the ground and the building, right? I don't really need trees. I don't need, the only thing I need is the city furniture, right? That is basically the 3D model of your light. And I will define the polygon as small as possible. Right. Just make sure they include the light. Double click. You could choose either merge or not, because I only have this tiny object. Let's using merge first. This one will give a pretty organized file. If you have multiple files, objects that we merged as one object if they share the same texture. So let's do this first. See what the model looks like. So it's done, and you should see the file where the file saved on the desktop. Valley IM export. This is actually a bad naming. I should rename it to a more meaningful one, but it's okay. So as long as I know where it is, that should be fine. So that is under the Valley, and use type, and so here it is, right? So that's today, and the seed file is 31K, really small. Okay, so that is the light being transferred out. So let's take it into Max first, then we'll take it into Rhino, so we can compare. So drag it in, import, we're done. Okay, so the light is there. If I I should actually not drag it in, because when you drag it in, it will basically ask you where is the anchor point. In my case, I want to do 0, 0, so I would rather do this way, just import instead of drag. Yeah, let's do this way, import. So that is Valley, city furniture. Right, you want to make sure the unit is meters. Yeah, that's it. So see, this is a single object. You do see this is merged as a single object, right? So my goal is I actually want to toggle the view. I wanted this guy here is a different texture. Okay, so here in Max, if you select the modify, you can actually select a face, right? And here you could give a new texture to this face, right? So in the future we can assign this as a glowing texture, right? So this is how to do this in Max. However, before I do it, I do want to quickly just say, right now I'm merging the objects, right? What if I'm not merging the objects? So here, if you export again, this time we do pretty much the same thing, except uncheck this guy, merge. Okay, so I do want to give a different name, just a little bit easier. We can find it. Oh, it's automatically give the name city furniture. Can I give a name to light? Okay.
So if you were to export this light straight to Unreal, I guess, would Unreal pick up like there's two textures, like the texture of like the structure and then the texture of like the actual emissive light.
You probably
And
just
then, like,
have
you'd have to apply like at least making it emissive, but does it pick up there's like going to be two textures already?
By default, I mean the one we just exported here, there's only one texture. And there's no two textures. You can sort of tell by the look, right?
Yeah.
You can also tell from the material editor.
Yeah.
You know, if you open it up and then you pick the material, you can see it's just a single material, which is the problem. So that's the reason. Let's see if we do not check merge, at least these two objects will be separate. Let's see if that works better. So let's do that. And here I will simply delete this guy. Get out from the object component row. I'll just delete this guy. Yeah, my computer is getting slow. And then you import this.
Yep. Are you done with Jimmy? I also have a question with the bridge.
Okay, I can find you there. Yep. So let's bring the light in. Right, same thing. Well, I guess the light is always one object. Alright. If that's the case, that's okay. We just need to manually assign the we just have to manually assign the shader to it. So later you bring that into Unreal, you will pick it up. So let's do that. I would do this in Max. It's a lot easier than Rhino. Because you know, in Max I can select individual face. In Rhino it will take a lot of effort to do that. So why not with
select like the face of the light bulb?
Yeah, like this tiny triangle face.
Just because it's like a complex surface.
It's basically a mesh, right?
Yeah.
So you have to split the mesh. You have, well, it's not as easy as Max, but let's maybe do both. So you'll be able to learn both. So this is in Max, right? You know, in Max it's relatively easy if you choose this. You know, this is called editable mesh. You can see like the elements. You can actually turn on the edged, so you can see all of them. And if you're holding Shift or actually Control, you can add this into your selection, and then you can choose, hey, I want to detach, right? This is the detach. Cut, split. Oh, here the detach. You want to detach as another object. Let's give this name as light glow. Hey, question?
It can wait. I just had ideas for project 3.
Okay, let me help her first. Then I will find you in studio.
All right.
Yeah. So I have this light glow, which is this guy, right? And also have this original mesh. See, this is light glow, right? This is the original mesh.
So you just made that new layer into texture?
It basically detach the individual face from the original object. So they became an independent object. They're both in the same layer right now. And for the light glow, it's always a good idea. You just give just like a random shader for now. In the future, in Unreal, we're gonna just reassign a different shader. So right now, let's just using I will just create a simple default shader for it.
So is a shader is a special type of material?
Shader basically the same term as material. You know, it's the same thing. So when I say shader, I mean material. Yeah. So here, let's go ahead and get a material. I want to create something just like a yellowish, maybe. So that's using the general. Let me see what is the best way to do. I would just do a standard shader. This is the easiest, most simple shader in Max. Okay, and I just give a color, let's say maybe just a yellow. So diffuse, let's give a yellow. Okay, so that's the shader looks like. Then you can apply to the selection. That's it, right? So you have it. Then I will transfer this back into InfraWorks. Okay, so you can select both. Then you export this back into FBX. So let's give this, put this in desktop, valley. I'll give this light, new. Should be done. Just make sure the unit, you always want to use meter. Yeah, it's meter already. That's good. So back here, I want to do where is the style palette? 3D model. Where do you find the light? Is that in?
It's under bridge component.
Bridge.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Is good. So later when I synchronize, you should be to see this new light show up. So here I will just add. Right, light new. Alright, so this is a new light. I do want to see, hey, there is a yellow color there. So that's good. I want to make sure the alignment is to the lower left, which is basically the default alignment. Then you do the OK. This new light will show up. I will give this name.
Yeah, I already have a bunch of
Oh, yeah, that's good. New light glow. How about I give this name? Right. New light glow. Yeah. So if I drag this light to replace the current one,
can you replace the whole line one time?
Yes, you can. Yeah. But let's drag it. I want to make sure it looks right in the scale. So here, drag and drop. The anchor point might shift a little bit just because they are two different. But I do see that seems like the yellow is right there. See?
How can it change shade Did you apply a different color to the?
Yep, I think it might because here the color somehow is not being recognized. So here, this is a quick way. If I use this color picker, right, I pick a material. See, this is the material transferred from InfraWorks here. This is pretty white. I might, want to turn down the saturation a little bit, so it's like a grayish. That could help. And for the light, well, let's just keep it as a yellow. I think this yellow color is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how you do it. But you see, it shifted the anchor point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you do all of this light together, they may be all shifted.
And I probably just can move the entire line.
Yes, you can. But wait a second, let me see why they shifted. See, this one is good, right? It's based on anchor point. But why this one shifted so much? It might because here, if you look at the center point, right? This is your light. The center point is not perfectly aligned.
So is that like the same thing as the anchor point?
Yeah. So I will do is I will just holding shift, select both of them, W to move. I want to move this to the center point. The same thing for the height. Can do this, zoom in. This probably is floating in air. So I want to move this down. Right. As close as you can. So you have this right here. Just one more. Yep, so you have this right in the right location. So this is 0, 0. And after that, let's transfer this back. So select both. Make sure you get out from the element. So transfer both. I give a new name, light new 2. Okay. And here, let me see if I can just simply swap FBX. And this time I just using the local origin. And I drag and drop. Seems like it doesn't change. Drag and drop. Well, let's just do a new one.
So did you just try saving all of them?
They should shift a little bit, right? And also I think the color should be not as white as the first one. But it looks kind of the same. Let me just drag and drop. Is the color changed? That's strange. Yeah, I was expecting the anchor point will perfectly line up. Oh, see that? We must miss something. Oh, see that? That is not lined up, right? We must have missed something. So let's move this one more time. Yeah, this gonna work, I'm sure. So export, and I will override the. Let's just give a new name, so no confusing. Light new 3. And here, let me see if I can just simply replace the FBX into light new 3. Click OK. Drag it in. Here we go. Yeah, it's good. It still looks pretty bright. It might be because just a shader, which is not really a big deal. You can keep it as white. Maybe something to do with the lighting. Yeah. So we can delete this one. We don't need that anymore. Right. So this is how you get the one light change. If you want to change all of them together, double click, right? You can see a style. So this is the city furniture. Oh, I saw you. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. See, this is a manual, right? Style. So if you double click, oops. Right. So this is a style you can swap to this new light. Click OK. So they should all change. Hold on. Yeah, let me see if I double click. Yeah, double. Oh, once you double click, let's click the manual style. Okay. And then change to the new light. So that is under bridge. And new light. Right. Yep, they all changed. Okay, so good. So you can see they all have this kind of yellowish color, right? Right there. If you use F, you can feed in the selection. You can sort of see them. The navigation in Framework is a little bit hard. You have to use the arrow key. If you want to go up and down, I think it's a Q. No? Oh, Q.
Can I zoom box?
Not really. It's tricky, yeah. But you see the yellow thing is there, right? So let's go ahead, transfer this to Unreal and make it light up, okay? And I want to do a very tiny part of it. So let's do export 3D model. When we define the polygon, let's just define a small part of it. We do it polygon. So that will include a bunch of them, right? And here I want to choose merge objects. I want to give this name as maybe valley light. Alright, that's it. I do export. You're done, right? Then next, I'm going to new all. I'm going to transfer this into Max. Here, and I think that name is Valley. I forgot the name I used. Let's just modify my name. Oh, Valley Light. Alright, and make sure it's meter. Boom, there we go. Let's change this to let's change this to default. Turn off the edged. Something wrong with the bridge. That's okay. but I wanna. Oh, it's actually bridge is alright, right?
I'm gonna get upside down.
Yeah, yeah. But the light, let me see. The light looks okay. So if you click the light, and it goes F. No, actually, sorry. The hotkey in Mac is the Z, means zoom in. Is that right? Z. Yeah, it is the. It's a little bit hard to select.
Yeah.
Let's change this to wireframe override. So here if I pick object, I just want to make sure this one is one object instead of two objects. This seems like one object. So if I select the just one face, use Z, right, I can zoom into that one. And I can switch to the default, turn off the wireframe. Hard to see, huh? Oh, that's using this one. Is this really yellow color or not? Hard to see. Let me just pick another face. Use F. Oh no, Z. I think it's still white color. It probably doesn't carry on this texture out. Interesting. Yeah, it's supposed to be yellow, right? I don't see that yellow color though. So let's do this. I will choose material. I will pick the material from this guy. See, it displays this is a single material, right? If this is two objects, you should see two materials show up. Also, if I turn it off, oh, here's something interesting. See that objects? Yeah, let me see what is this.
They're two separate objects.
They are two separate objects, which is fun. This is actually maybe is better. The reason is we can easily pick this guy later in Unreal. So this guy name is Mesh 2. So let's just give a name. Light glow.
Is that the singular light or is that all of them?
All of them. I think all of this. If I turn off everything, you will see this is more than just one.
So how does it know to group all of them?
Because this light glow, they all share the yellow color.
So because they're the same material.
Right. So when you
That's how
export,
it groups.
yeah, they actually break them apart. So which is fun. So you have a light glow. Yes. Yeah. So let's turn on this. See here, if I turn off everything, hold Shift. See, there's a multiple dot on the screen, so you know be all the light. All right, so that's good. For the terrain, we basically want to merge the terrain, right? This is the same process as the other tutorial. which is pretty easy. You just need to attach them together into a new layer. So I will do that. Terrain, turn off. Then for all the road, right, you want to create a new layer. So that's road. Right, so everything else, well, the bridge, we probably want to make them as a part of the road. So here you can click road, then you'll use add to active. Make sure this is on. Okay, so good. For this one, the fence, we'll do the same thing. The railing, probably, right? Because the railing is a part of the collision objects. This white line, let's not worry about it.
Because you can make those then light up, right?
Yes, you can. You can make this light up too. Yeah. So here in the mesh one, I'm going to do attach list. So I'll attach everything in that layer. Click OK. I will rename this to road. Right, so done. For the terrain, I will do the same thing. I will do attach list, holding shift. Okay. I will rename this to terrain. Right. And then I will export everything into Unreal as data smith. So data smith, I'll just put it here. It's called Valley Light. Yeah, that's it. So in the Valley Light, there is a object named Light Glow. That's the yellow color. So let's go ahead. I will actually close Rhino to free up some of the memories.
So does your computer run Unreal pretty well?
Yes. Yes. For the infra work, I will just simply sync. So you will have this later. It will take some time to sync. At the same time, I will close Max to save some memory. So let's give this name Valley Light. Okay. Yeah, it's all matter, you know, squeeze every single memory you have from Unreal. So here I can run my last project. I was using the Friday's demo project. This is called Valley, right? So we're gonna bring a new data smith into my old project. So you can double click, you should be able to open it.
So can you add like 3D models? Like let's just say you do one part of highway in your project, and you can just add another part from 3ds.
Yes, you can add portion of your model over time.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
we did different parts we could combine.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You, as long as you have a good strategy, make sure they somehow land up.
Yeah.
That should be fun. I will let it sync. At the same time, let's wait till Unreal coming out. Maybe I will save the OBS just in case it's crashed later. Recording. And let's take a look at the old project. If you recall, this is the old one we did last Friday, right? So here I will just simply, you know, the Valley Drive. That's the one we did Friday with some bridge, with some, you know, valleys, right? That file.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a new one. So first, you want to create a new map. This is called new level. Okay. You can use a default. And here I'm gonna add a new data smith into my content. So the new one I think is this valley light, right? Yeah. Content, that's fine. That's fine. That's it. So this process is basically convert data smith file into U asset. U asset means Unreal asset file. You have 270 shaders you can compile. It's kind of floating in the air. I can show you. The reason is we probably didn't put this into 0, 0, I guess, which is okay. Right, this is right there. Oh, it's actually not too far away from 0, 0. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, so you have this. I can use it. If I play now, you can actually fly. Where is it? Let's go back here. You can use F to fit in. Oh, it is pretty high. Did you see that? Yeah. I mean, ideally we should do this in max, but I will just make adjustment here for the sake of time. So now I can play. Yep, right there.
You could, like, if you want to update this model and use the same project, can you replace the file?
Yes, you can.
And then it'll just kind of go to where you relocated the origin and stuff.
Yes, you can. You basically, this is my valley light, right? So in the future, if you mess up something, you can go ahead and re-import. You just swap this guy and also swap the one in the level.
Yeah.
But here, if you select this, is a light glow. See, these objects that came in as a sub-objects under the data smith. Here I can turn it off. And this guy, if you check the details, if you go to static mesh and search, this one is right here, light glow. So let's save all first. The map, let's give valley light. Okay. So this light glow, right? If you open it, it's probably not that visible because they are very tiny. They are scattered in the air. But you can see the material is the white one. So if you search, this is the material associated with the light. So if I want to make this one glow, I know this is the one I should modify. Right. So that's, we just call material without any number. To do a quick test, you can go to see this emissive color. So I will hold in M, click, so you can multiply. I will multiply white with another value. So this value is 1, click. So basically it's a single variable. I give this variable 1000. So 1000 times whiter, and I drag this into emissive. Right, so it basically kind of rewired this. Save the file.
So it didn't have any emissive color before.
Right, default is 0. So it's rendered as like a solid color. But now you see it's super bright. You can see that? It's like a sun. If you click save, you'll see my light is actually probably too bright.
So would you just lower it from 1000?
Yes, you should reduce that.
Are there other options? Like, could you put multiply? Is that like specific just to?
This really depends on the scale of your site. Depends on the saturation of the white. So it's hard to predict. This one is a little bit better, right? You see, that's a little bit better. You still have that glow, but not super glowing. So now if I fly,
can you make it like nighttime?
yes, let's change that in the next step. But here I want to make sure the glowing is there, right? For this light, I want to make sure all of them has a glowing. Yeah, so this is glowing too. So I know that works pretty well. Yeah, so that's how you got a glowing effects. For the overall, like a lighting condition, this is actually controlled by this. This is the light source. It also controlled by the skylight, which is the dorm. But this one is just a visual. So I believe if you want to change the light, there are a couple of ways you can do it. The simple way is just to change the light source, which is the direction light. If I do the F, you can see here is that direction light. I guess I can just rotate this direction light to make it horizontal. Let's see if it works. Right, it's kind of like 6 p.m. Okay, so that shadow has been changed. Let's see. So the shadow is gone. But the sky is still rendered as that. I wonder if I should simply so this is the sun brightness from the sky sphere. And also you have a skylight, which also has this light color. But it has a light intensity. Yes. So let's try both. Let's give intensity to 0.1. And I change the light sphere. I will change the sun. One.
Sunrise
Let's do the brightness. Yeah, it doesn't change too much. There must be something else. Oh, the sun, the light, the height is already being dragged down. Yeah, I need to look into this. But you see, it's sort of like sunset. Right.
Because like in, I think it's like V-Ray, you can like load, there's like HDRI.
Yes. Here you can do the same thing.
Okay, so if like, a rainy day or like a sunny day.
You could, yes, that can be done actually. It's not as easy as V-Ray, because this one right now is controlled by this color. You could override with HDRI image. That will be another tutorial video. Yeah, but you got this really nice glowing light now. Yeah, it's a long process, but it's pretty neat once you have it. The same strategy, anything you want to have a glow, you can just add emissive color. You can also change the tone, right?
Yeah.
So you have yellow or pink, you can easily do that. Cool. Let me stop the video at least.